Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of Backstage Pass, our video blog here at Coast Entertainments with me, Andy Donnelly. We've been really overwhelmed by the feedback and comments we got in the last show. There seems to be a real appetite to see a bit more. Most of the suggestions were kind of largely helpful and complimentary to what we did in the first show, but we got a couple of crackers. I got slagged to death for the Britney Spears headset, so that's kind of had to go today, I'm afraid. I got a really great comment here I'm going to read out to you from one of the guys from one of our bands, a guy called Mike Law from Little Red, and he sent to me, "Hey Andy, I've never seen you looking so alluring with your Britney Spears headset on," and I sent him one back saying, "Britney's pretty hot, Mike, I'll take that." And then he sent me one saying, "Yeah, but I meant Britney when she went mental, put on 3 stone and shaved all her hair off." So thanks for that, Mike. Just don't know why your career in motivational speaking never really took off. Anyway, on our last episode we kind of touched on what you could expect to see over the coming weeks, and I promised you that this week we would be joined all the way from tropical Springburn by the one and only, the redoubtable Mr. Gary Johnstone. Gary, welcome to the show, my friend.
Good evening, thanks for having us.
How the hell are you?
Well, once I get past working out what redoubtable means, I'll probably be back in line to answer some questions for you.
Okay, once you get past the same kind of English reading books that my boy's on in primary 6, I'll explain a couple of big words to you, alright mate?
Thanks.
The only words you seem to need to get through your life is lager, internet porn and guitar.
Okay, you can teach me about that and I'll teach you what A minor is then, alright?
And the guitar. Alright mates, so let's get straight to it. For anybody who's just kind of came across the 3-card trick for the first time on the site today, doesn't really know much about the band, can you give us a kind of brief, kind of potted history of how the whole thing kind of came
About 5 years ago we started off as a house band for a place called Rockers in Glasgow. I realised there's virtually no money to be made from being a blues rock band. A lot of girls, you know, a lot of drinking.
Is that girls with a G-U-R-L-S?
Girls, aye, that'll do. So yeah, we just started thinking, well, let's put together a wedding band set and see if we can, make a bit more money, maybe make a living out of it, and then that was where you came in.
Yeah, I can still remember the first night I came to see you. I walked through the door of this pub in Glasgow called the Clutha Vaults, which, I don't want to be disrespectful in case there's any kind of hardcore Clutha fans out there, but it's not the most kind of upper class kind of wine bar kind of thing. I just want to say at this point, the views of Andy Donnelly and Coast Entertainments in no way reflect the views of 3-card trick. And I walked in and I looked to the right hand side, and on the stage were these kind of 3 pretty scruffy looking guys kind of rocking out. They had kind of like dirty egg stained lumberjack shirts on, if I can remember.
I was going for the emo lumberjack look back then. And
cowboy boots as well, and my first impression was that he kind of looked like a kind of trio of camp extras from Brokeback Mountain.
Have you dumbed that description down because you're not allowed to swear or use profanity on this video? Because that's not the way you've described us in the past.
But of course, the rest is history. You know, we came and saw you that night, and that was a seminal moment for both of us, because that was the day that we found each other. Note to self: don't ever use the word seminal and Brokeback Mountain in the same sentence ever again. But that was a seminal moment because it was the night that we found each other, and you know, the rest is absolutely history. 2.5 years down the line.
I thought you'd be taller.
Yeah.
You sounded taller on the phone.
I thought you'd be better looking and less kind of
ugly.
Yeah. Less kind of goat-like.
Goat-like, right. Okay.
A bit more kind of human looking. But of course, in the last 2.5 years since then, you've went on to take the industry by storm. What, we had 250 weddings in a couple of 2 and a bit years.
2 and a bit years, yeah. It was the beginning of 2010 we started playing for you, working with you.
Probably.
Not playing with you.
Yeah.
Definitely not. That's a different business plan altogether.
But probably one of the top 5 most booked bands in the country, and certainly, definitely the most booked band in our agency by quite some way. So
I think even you were surprised by that, though, weren't you?
We've travelled a bit of distance, haven't we, mate?
You're right.
With some team.
Yeah, I think the first wedding I ever did, the most wedding-y song I knew was Highway to Hell. We quickly learned that that's not really the format that most people...
After you get booed off the stage 20 minutes into the night.
Yeah.
But this next segment is the kind of whole Ask Gary bit, and this is where we kind of crawl inside the mind of Gary Johnstone. And of course, once we wade through the fog of internet pornography and lager and guitar magazines, and then we defibrillate the 2.5 brain cells that are still in there into action, then we can get a bit of Gary's kind of wisdom and his answers to some real questions that we've got here from some of Gary's clients that we've pulled through the week.
Are these actual real questions from clients?
They're real questions from real punters. Every one of them can be verified. So we're going to kick off with question 1, and this is from Angela and Mark. They're getting married this Saturday at the Carlton Hotel in Prestwick.
Alright.
I'm hoping you know about that.
Yes, I know about that, yeah.
And they've said, Gary, we're really looking forward to hearing you guys on Saturday. Naturally, we want our night to be great with lots of dancing. Do you guys work from a strict set list, and how do you pick the songs to ensure it's a busy dance floor?
Well, obviously when you're doing 3.5 hours, you have to have like a template of what areas of the night to use certain types of songs. So normally we'd start off with some Queen, some Rod Stewart, and then move into some Take That, Rihanna. You can imagine me singing Rihanna, but
I've heard you singing Rihanna.
Just sounds like Gary Barlow going face first through a meat grinder. I think he's been described as before. But
no, I said Gary Barlow getting fed face first into a combine harvest.
Right, okay, aye. So I don't know why I thought that was going to be less offensive when you said it. But, so yeah, and then after the buffet kind of time, we might do a little bit of Kaylee.
Right.
After your food's settled, obviously, you wouldn't go straight from your
into a dash of Mike Sargent.
From your salmon fish cakes straight into or whatever you decide to have. Bacon rolls, preferably.
Bacon sarnies,
and then towards the end of the night, you're just getting, whether you like it or not, you're getting your cheese, your dance floor filling cheese.
Which we all know from experience, you can be as cool and contemporary as you like, but there's nothing like some good old fashioned wedding cheese for getting the punters up and getting them moving.
Yeah. Even at the beginning of the night, you sometimes get brides and grooms going, oh, we don't want any cheese tonight, and then, by the time everybody's absolutely tanked up by about 11 o'clock, they'll come over and go, just get on with it, slosh. Just get on with it.
Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive answer. Question 2 is from Sarah and Ian. They're getting married at the View in Bathgate in August this year, and they've asked, Gary, we absolutely love rock music, and that's why we chose you guys. I'm a wee bit concerned though, as we have a pretty mixed crowd at our wedding. Can you let me know what other kinds of music we can expect to hear on the night?
Well, I think the video that we've got on the website actually kind of gives a good cross section of what kind of music we play. We've got everything from
just starting off with something heavy like AC/DC.
Yeah, just to kind of give people a vibe of that we can do that. But being a wedding band, you do have to cover all the bases. We've got the High-O Silver Linings, we've got your Shang-a-Langs, we've got your Suspicious Minds, your Blue Suede Shoes. Covering a lot of, even if it does tend to be kind of a cheesy song, we do try and give it a contemporary vibe. Maybe because we're guitar, bass and drums, and we just kind of make it sound like our own. But
cool.
It's good fun to try that. One of my favourite ones to try recently is We Found Love by Rihanna.
Yeah, which is on the video as well.
It's on the video, yeah. And
did a great job of that.
I really enjoy playing it. People, when I say we're about to do a Rihanna song, it does kind of catch people's ear and they go, oh, I can't wait to hear this. And then within seconds the dance floor is full. So
cool.
It's maybe because I put on a Rihanna costume while I'm doing it. So.
Don't expect that, by the way, if you actually book them for your wedding.
It costs extra. Yeah.
And question 3 is from Carly and Brian. They're getting married at Glenskirley Castle next March, and they've asked, Gary, my friend said you can also offer a daytime entertainment set with an acoustic guitar. Can you expand a bit more on this, as we're thinking of booking it for our meal and drinks reception? This is a conversation that the client and I have had a couple of days ago, because I know it's something that you've recently started offering your clients.
Yeah, I think it's something that we've put a lot of effort into recently, is providing like a whole package of entertainment, not just for the nighttime reception, but we do a Kaylee set as well, and during the day, as I say, we've started to offer an acoustic set during your drinks reception, where I would just do kind of either acoustic chilled out background music, or maybe just play my guitar over backing tracks, and creates a good vibe. A good vibe for the afternoon. It's not too intrusive. We can sit in the background. People can ask for requests. If they're wanting a specific song, and I'll play it for them as well. But it does.
It's a great daytime entertainment option. If you want to speak to us about that, then get in touch, because it's super competitively priced as well. So all the 3 card trick guys that have booked them out, they're a lot of you should be upgrading to that daytime entertainment option. It's fantastic.
The way I say, we're going to be there anyway. We're going to be at the venue anyway, so it cuts down on travel costs. And, it's more competitive than maybe getting someone else to come along, and then
of course you have to go away and book somebody else for the night time thing. And question 4 out of 5 is from Leanne and Stephen. They're getting married in July next year at the Caves in Edinburgh, and they've asked, Gary, do you guys offer a disco service, as I'm thinking of having the band from 11 AM and then the disco through to 1 AM.
11 AM?
No, 11 PM, sorry. And then the disco through to 1 AM, as we've managed to get the venue till later than first planned.
Yeah, that's something I've started doing a lot of as well. At the end of the night, people are, we've had the Loch Lomond, you've had your Caledonia, whatever, and after that you maybe just want a disco set just to wind up your night. So maybe between 12 and 1, I've done that a few times now, and it just kind of creates a good end to the night.
Cool.
A bit of variety there as well,
Brilliant.
Plus with us, instead of if you wanted a band and a DJ, you're basically getting the two in one.
In the one package.
Yeah.
And finally, this question is from an anonymous poster, and he's sent in, this guy's already married, but he just wants to know out of morbid curiosity, Gary, how do you maintain your ice white Hollywood smile, and are you in fact the abandoned love child of Noel Edmonds and Wuzzle Gummy?
I suppose that serves me right for going for the emo scarecrow look these days, but it's yet to be verified. We're waiting for the test results on that one. Yeah.
Oh well, I suppose that's an answer of sorts, isn't it? We've got to accept that. So, listen, before we wrap this up, mate, can you let our viewers know out there what you're up to over the next couple of weeks, in case somebody, if you guys want to come out and rock it with 3 Card Rick, what's happening over the next week or two?
Well, of course, we've got the showcase at the Gills Hotel.
Tuesday the 15th of May.
Tuesday the 15th of May.
If you haven't registered for that, it's 42 seats gone, and we're still 3.5 weeks out, so we're pretty much bang on track for that. But if you want to get some good seats for the showcase, you want to get registered for that as quickly as you can at weddingandfunctionbands.co.uk.
As aside from playing weddings, we do a lot of pub gigs as well, because we've got to get our blues rock fix, and unless you really specify, then we won't be playing Voodoo Child for 18 minutes for your first dance, although that is something that a service we would provide as well. But we do the Box, Glasgow, Sauchiehall Street, every Thursday night after midnight, and the Scotia Bar 5 till 7 every Sunday. So there's not really any need to really be in touch about specific dates, because you know where we're going to be on those nights anyway, every Thursday and every Sunday. Want to check with the venue beforehand, just in case we do have a wedding that night, but 9 times out of 10 we'll be there. The Box gig, I have to say, I warn you in advance, is quite a student-y. Everybody's drunk, including me sometimes, to be fair. And it's kind of heavier rock music, like AC/DC, Rage Against the Machine. And the Scotia Bar gig on Sundays, we do a lot of more like classic rock and contemporary hits, like Kings of Leon, The Killers, Oasis, The Beatles, Rolling Stones, things like that. So yeah,
cool.
Depending on what kind of music you're into, you can pick between those 2 venues, and we'll always be there.
Alright. Well, listen, Gary, thanks for joining us, mate. You've been a great sport as ever, and you're always generous with your time, and we appreciate that. Yeah. Gary Johnstone, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from sunny Springburn. Tune in next week, of course, where we'll be interviewing another key member from another one of our bands. We're going to keep you in suspenders as to who that might be for the moment, but if you check out our Facebook page early in the week, we'll reveal that on there. So, all that's left is for me to say good night. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place, for the next episode of Backstage Pass.